Grace, what are you doing?
Hiking
Nice.
to a glacier.
To a glacier. Skagway is the farthest north I've ever been. It is one of the few coastal towns with road access to the rest of North America. There were plenty of activities to choose from here. We had booked a bus ride to an alpine lake over the border with British Columbia for a kayak trip. We then rode the White Pass and Yukon Railway back to town. This turned out to be arguably the high point of the trip for us since it combined several modes of travel and miles of beautiful scenery. The weather was almost perfect as well. Skagway has a colorful past, but its present seems to consist of thousands of cruise passengers crowding the town each week. Notice the cruise ships at the end of the street.
You're going to start to see your first change in scenery as we went from the Tongass National Rainforest. We're going to go subalpine and eventually alpine. The trees start shrinking. They do that as a self-protectant. We can get some really, really gnarly winds through this pass, over 50-mile-per-hour winds, sometimes up to 100. And the trees do only grow to a certain level so that they can self-protect and survive. It kind of depends because it changes as you go up the pass. Like Skagway itself, some years are good for snow, but most of the time it's
About 5 or 6 kilometers into Canada, there is the small waypoint of Fraser. And Fraser is the official crossing over point with the customs, I guess, and border protection type stop for Canada. This is a stopover on the rail line as well as a drop-off point for some of the other excursions. We've put a little bit of background information on the next 2 slides, so feel free to pause and read them through. It's pretty interesting, and this is the reason why there's a tourist railway today.
for pack animals. But the conditions were incredibly dangerous. A reporter who hiked both trails said, whichever one you chose, you'd wish you'd gone the other way or not come at all.
In 1901, the 1,200-foot wide gorge at milepost 1806 was spanned by the famed steel cantilever bridge. At the time, the 200-foot high structure was the tallest railroad bridge of its kind in the world. It was one of the many reasons the White Pass Railroad was designated an International Historic Civil Engineering Landmark, a title shared with the likes of Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower, and the Panama Canal. The bridge was retired in 1969 and still remains a symbol of the White Pass and Yukon route and the centerpiece of the company's logo today. Before making the final run to the summit, there is a gorge to the cross before being swallowed up by the mountain one last time.